Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this show runs through the ages. Sinners and saints, goblins and haints, but beware as they say we're contagious. Sick with the truth, we uncover the lies. We beat on the drums as they march side by side. Wake up, my dear friends, and smell that fresh roast. Last night shall no longer exist. You're here by yourself, but you're never alone, as we spin stories you'll hear in the mist. Reptilians and greys, we folk who stay hidden. Mysterious booms, archaeology forbidden. Stay away from the village, keep off of the moors. There's a lady in white and bloodstains on the floor. So sit back and relax, take the load off your feet, as we're here to amaze, entertain, and complete. You see, my name is John, and Stacy's here too, and my, do we have something in store for you. Welcome to the Paranormal Sideshow, with your host, authors of Till Death and Beyond, John and Stacy Edwards of ParanormalSideshow.com. Hello and welcome to the Paranormal Sideshow, special live crazy YouTube Insano edition. Hello. I am John Edwards and joined as always by my lovely wife Stacy. Hello. And we just explained that, didn't we? We're insane, we're crazy, and we are coming to you live on the U of Tubes. Mm-hmm. And pretty excited about it. We tried to Facebook Live the other night and totally hated it. We did. It just didn't do it. It didn't do us, any favors. It wasn't our thing, wasn't our jamma.
So we're hoping this YouTube thing works much better.
Yeah, at least somewhat better.
Right.
I don't know, much better is like a lot to ask. We're good with somewhat, YouTube.
Exactly.
Don't let us down, YouTube. It's we're working on the lighting and all that good stuff. So it's a little dark, but hey, it's a little us, right? It is. Mm-hmm. I'll get this thing out from in front of my face. Hi, how you doing?
Let them see your beautiful face.
Aw. Yeah. So. Man, we've got, oh God, it's been such a crazy week. Mm-hmm. It has been an insane week. And, just really glad to be doing it like this. This is a lot of fun for us. Mm-hmm. And we'll see what happens, right? So we'll, do these from time to time and still upload the normal podcast, mm-hmm. Because this will be part of that. And this was supposed to be a Patreon exclusive tonight, but we got this afternoon and we were thinking, maybe we should have tried it on YouTube first, just to check, just to see. Maybe it would be fun that way. Right. So some of the cool stuff that we're going to be doing. Hi guys, we're watching the chat room here. Yes. Some of the stuff we're going to be doing is when Stacy's doing her news, mm-hmm. you'll be able to see what she's talking about, if you will. You'll be able to follow along,
That's the plan.
Play at home version. Yeah, that is the plan. Now it may all just not work.
Nah.
And again, as I threatened the other night, this time,
right?
I may use shadow puppets.
Maybe.
So if it doesn't work, I'll just use the puppets or whatever. But that's the gimmick. Even with my top 10 list, you should be able to see what I'm doing, which or what I'm talking about, which is way better than normal. Because if you can actually keep up with what I'm talking about, who knows. Stacy's going to tell us a little bit about some things we have coming up, though.
Oh, yes. So some live and interactive things we have coming up, some conventions. The first one is CyberCon. This is Scarefest CyberCon virtual convention. It's on the 29th of August, and it runs all day from 12 to 8 Eastern Time. And we have a lecture. We're doing a talk on Appalachian giants and
use your microphone.
Moon-eyed people and other forbidden history type things. So our lecture is at 5 p.m. Mm-hmm. But you can get on there and come by our booth anytime. We'll be at our booth all day. You can come chat with us, and you get your tickets at scarefest.artfarm.tv. I believe they're...
I've been telling people that's .antfarm.
That's okay. I thought it was art form for a while. So.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a lot of people going to a lot of places. If you want to go get that scarefest.antfarm.tv.
It's totally different thing.
You can probably get a lot of traffic there soon.
I believe the tickets are like $5. And then there are celebrities there besides us. And, you can have a good time. You can buy things, whatever you want to do, online shopping. So that's our first appearance. And then in October, we will be doing the Great Smoky Mountain Comic Expo.
Oh, you got to look how it's written. It's the Great Smoky Mountain Comic Expo.
It's October 3rd and 4th in Newport, Tennessee.
That just so happens to be the authentic location of season 2 episode of Ghost Brothers, where John investigated with the boys to find some great haunts of his past.
Yes.
In a big scary building that terrified the bejesus out of him in 2004.
I kind of wish the convention was in that building, but it's not.
Oh yeah, I don't. You say that, oh ye of little faith. Let me tell you.
Right.
You don't want anything in that building. You just don't. You don't. That building is the devil. It's the devil. It's the devil, Bobby.
Well, if you are local enough, you can come see us live.
Somewhat local,
live and in person. And the website for that is the Great Smoky Mountain Comic Expo with hyphens in between. You can see it here at the bottom.com. And that's where you go for all your information and tickets and whatnot. So
you know what's really cool about Whatnot?
What's that?
Is we were doing this on video, live, the cool thing about the Whatnot is they could see little things that I do like during the show,
right?
Which could be good, could be bad, but I have little things I call my passengers, right? So I always have my good luck with me on a show,
right?
And tonight my good luck is Ric Flair.
Ooh, hello, Rick.
So the Nature Boy's with me. And Nature Boy's usually with me, no matter who else. And then the New York Comic Con exclusive Mandalorian, because Mando is my boy.
Yes.
And he's with me. So that's my 2 passengers this week. On this episode, I should say. The way these are going, it doesn't even take a week anymore. So, but yeah, those are with me. And then I got a mess of drinks. And probably some, some tobacco-like goodness stuff over here you shouldn't have.
Got my little cauldron here.
Yeah, that's when she makes herself a miniature. she does a spell where she turns into little Stacy.
No, that's where we burn bay leaves and incense and
She's
such.
like, you like a little Stacy? All right, here I am. But anyway, I thought you had something Patreonic to talk about.
I do. So we are on Patreon. Very interesting. All right, so let's talk about the Patreon. We got to push the Patreon a little bit. So you can become a patron. Eventually, these live episodes will be patron only. And you also get another monthly live show, the John and Stacy versus the Unknown. We have an episode of that up already, and we'll be doing more of those. And you get access to our entire back catalog of Haunted South and The Third Side. And you get a shout out to all new patrons on the show.
Yes, absolutely.
And any other exclusive content that we feel like putting up. I know Raj will be doing some tarot readings, answering some questions, and just a lot of different fun stuff. So it's only $2.99 a month. So you just pop on over to patreon.com/Paranormal Sideshow and sign up.
It's not so easy, is it?
It's not exactly
all that
easy.
shilling. I used to be Kurt Schilling because I shill all the time. So, yeah, it's patreon.com/Paranormal Sideshow. That's patreon.com/Paranormal Sideshow.
Keep it up down here at the bottom anyway for a while. And let me go ahead and do our shout outs. Shall I do shout outs for some new patrons? So we have a couple new patrons to shout out today. The first one is Rachel Renhack Wagner.
Hello, Rachel.
Yes, hello, Rachel. Thank you for becoming a patron.
Thank you,
We
Rachel.
really appreciate it. And we also have Trisha Whiteley.
Hey, Trisha.
Hi, Trisha. Yes, that's a name we recognize.
Yes. Well, I recognize the name Rachel as well.
Yes.
I do. Hey, Rachel. What's up? Thanks for joining.
Yes, thank you guys for becoming patrons, and we really appreciate it.
We'll try not to let you down too many times per month. In a row.
Right.
We know we're going to let you down a couple times a month, but in a row. What is that weird sound?
It might be my computer fan.
Wow.
I apologize. I need a buffer for under my computer.
Wow.
I'll put that on the list.
I've never heard that before.
Well, I've got a lot of tabs open right now.
It's a gaming computer, so you wouldn't think that would happen.
Right. It doesn't usually, but I've got a lot of stuff loaded in there right this second, and we're
It's the porn.
running the live stream, so
Yeah. It's the right. All right. Well, I think it's about time for something cool. Something kooky. You ready for a list?
Ooh, yes, a list. I love lists.
Yeah. Well, I love lists even more than you because I make them all the time. So this one is actually a really cool list. All right.
Okay.
Hi, Michelle. See, I can do that now. And when somebody's listening on the podcast in a few days, they're like, why the hell did he say, hi, Michelle? I think he was singing Fly High, Michelle. You remember that song? You don't, do you?
I actually don't remember that song.
I know the laugh when Stacey has no clue what I'm talking about.
I'm just trying to act like I know what you mean.
It's the robot laugh. It's the I love it. It's like, hey, Stacey, I'm going to tell you this.
I'm trying to act like I know what you're talking about.
Fly High, Michelle. Enough's enough. The 80s. Wonderful. Fantastic. Like the end of hair rock.
Right.
It's right at the end. It was kind of hippie rock, but I don't know. So this top 10 list is the 10 creepy or curious mysteries. That sounds so back of a dirty magazine in like 1988. I didn't think about that when I made the list. Creepy or curious? I mean, you can do the laugh again. I can tell you what this one's about.
Might I point out, thank you, Michelle, for not remembering that song either.
Oh, well, okay. All
I'm
right.
not alone.
That's all right.
All right, so 10 creepy or curious mysteries. I'm excited.
Yeah. You don't remember those blah, blah, curious? That's okay, never mind.
No.
Maybe it's just me.
I think it's just you.
I was at a hospital one time and there was just something laying there. I was like looking through it. All right, 10 creepy or curious mysteries.
I actually have some images for these, so.
Yeah, you do. The only bad thing about this is I have to share things with her first now. So
I like that.
I never had to do that before. So number 10, the hospital demon. Yeah, this is a list made by me because it's things that I found creepy or curious, meaning I found this one creepy, and it always bothered me. I kept waiting for the shoe to drop on this one. So, someone going, that was Aunt Edna. She got crazy one night, put her black rooster suit on, and started strutting through the hospital. This photo appears to show a dark figure standing over a patient in a hospital bed, and it was taken from a CCTV camera, allegedly, sometime in 2014. The nurse that took the photo explained that the figure seemed to form out of nowhere. To make the situation even more eerie, the patient in the picture reportedly died shortly after it was captured. So every time this picture surfaces online, people are quick to try to explain it away. Many people talk about the poor quality of the camera that created some extreme pareidolia, and that the image shows nothing more than a patient's leg, the bed rail, some medical equipment, which could be true, right? The thing about it is, it's interesting to me because of friends that I've had in the medical field that have sent me secret pictures of things that they catch on their CCTV.
Right.
And I know they shouldn't, so I can't share that stuff. But anybody who's in the paranormal field probably has received these pictures before, and it's and they're used to it. Like I'll hear this is a white lady. She comes and visits rooms. And usually when she's here, when we see her, we have a patient die right afterwards. Something creepy like that. Maybe it's not as exact as that, but still you have to have the visitor.
Right.
I've heard it, and I've seen a lot of crazy footage come from hospitals. So that is why I've always taken to this picture, just because it's creepy. I mean, it is. It could be pareidolia, but what do you think?
It is. I think it's creepy, and it's unusual that it happened right before the patient passed away.
Maybe they showed him maybe they came in and showed him the footage. Like, hey, you never believe what we caught in your room. So next,
I don't know how they died of a heart attack.
Next, this is one that's creeped me out for a long time, actually since it happened. And I don't ever talk about these type of things on the sideshow, but I figured since I got the Yatubo show, that I might do it.
Oh, this one has a video, so I'm going to play the video while you explain it. Does that sound like
everybody's seen it. Everybody watches this show seen it.
I'm sure they have.
Except Michelle.
I'm sure they have. So this is the death of Elisa Lamb.
Yes, it is. So with the death of Elisa Lamb, it was February 19th, 2013. Elisa Lamb was found dead in the water tank on the roof of the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. Elisa had been reported missing at the beginning of February when she completely disappeared. 5 days before her body was found, a video was released that shows her on the day of her disappearance. The footage shows Elisa get on and off of an elevator and push multiple buttons. It seems that she is trying to hide from something or someone. It's honestly really freaky. Her erratic behavior has always freaked me out on this, the way she's doing. I mean, it could also be, crystal meth, right? I mean, it's that kind of behavior that you see at Walmart at 3 a.m. When you could go to Walmart at 3 a.m. But her death was reported to be an accidental drowning. However, Cecil's roof was only accessible to staff who had the key. Elisa's body was found naked with her clothes and other belongings floating in the water with her, but there was no evidence to physical trauma that was found. Very, very sad.
It's a horrible story because it was like the way they found her was people were complaining, about the water. The taste of the water. And she was in the water tank. And there's no way she could have got in there. Look how little she is. Look at that little girl. There's no way that she, did that on her own.
Right. No, not at all. And I mean, it's completely weird and scary. And, especially when you go through it and you start thinking about it in that context of, what is, if she is seeing something or someone. Right. And then the fact that you never really had anybody, fingered in this, right? No one, a friend of a friend never came out and said, well, I think that Tony did it. I don't know.
And nobody ever said that she was actually on anything or doing anything unusual. And this video that's playing, that's the last video
that we know of.
The last time that we know that anybody saw her or anything. I don't think that she appears again. I think that's the end.
Yeah, no, just really strange stuff, man. Just, I always wanted to include it, and I know everybody has their opinion on these things. It's that internet lore, right? But I consider it creepy. So that was definitely on my creepy list. I want to talk next about a little Phoenix Lights action. And this one, wow. I don't know where to really start on it, other than the fact it happened during the best year ever, which was 1997. That was just a weird year. I think there's like fixed points on Doctor Who.
Right.
97 is one of those fixed points for me because so much strange stuff happened. It was such a weird time. And, just stuff that we experienced. That's when we had our original experience. But the Phoenix Light appeared on March 13th, 1997 to thousands of people over a range of 300 miles. Everyone that witnessed the lights that night described the same triangular formation. The first report came from a man in Henderson, Nevada, where the lights then moved to Arizona. Within an hour of the first sighting, the lights were reported in Phoenix, where they are said to have hovered in the area for around 2 hours. And so much came of this afterwards with the governor's reaction. And, he was very serious at first because he seen it himself, but then he had the joke alien at the conference, which caused all kinds of crap. And now he's on every UFO show he can get on, saying, I wish I'd never done that. And people that actually witnessed this, the one thing I never got straight about the footage was the fact of, there was it come out where they said, well, it was military flares or whatever. But then there was like, well, there was flares shot off.
Right.
And there was also this thing that went over. But the people that witnessed it, like, I don't know what the footage that we always see, the famous footage. I don't know if that's of this craft or if that's of something that we did trying to go after the craft or just, something like that. The thing I go on is the thousands of eyewitnesses that talked about this slow moving, gigantic mothership like craft, which just gets you excited. I mean, going over a major city like that.
Right. And so many people saw it.
Right.
Like so many. That's crazy.
It absolutely is. I mean, and if it happened right now, we would just know it was time. Wouldn't we?
Yep.
We'd be like, yeah, that's it.
Be like, yeah, we knew you were coming.
Yeah. We're talking about it. So anyway, the next one is one that really, I've always hated this picture. So I put this one in here just for my hatred for it. The Soulway Firth Spaceman. In May 1964, Jim Templeton was taking pictures of his daughter, which is not a strange thing to do, Elizabeth, in Burr Marsh. He took 3 pictures that were later developed, but the middle picture showed more than just his daughter. Behind the little girl in the photo, there's a figure dressed in white. It appears to be someone in a spacesuit with a helmet and a dark visor covering his face. Jim Templeton claimed no one but his family and 2 women who were sitting in the car on the marshes that day, and that no one else was present when the picture was taken. There you have it. So I think you would have noticed somebody. Would you have noticed that?
I think I would have noticed if someone, I think somebody tried to say, oh, it's just like somebody else walking away or something, but you would know, and they would be in the other pictures.
So let me ask you this. Could it be something in her hair?
I thought that too, but if it was something in her hair sticking, it doesn't look like any kind of bow or anything like that. She doesn't have long hair.
Right.
And it's not something blowing because her hair is not blowing.
Yeah, she has kind of like you hair.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very, very strange.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's very strange.
Yes.
It looks like a person.
Mm-hmm. It does.
I can't figure out anything else unless maybe, okay, get this. What if it's a weird cloud formation and there is a actual UFO up there?
I suppose it'd be a very dark cloud though for the area, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I cannot come up with any other explanation.
Right on.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Very strange. I noticed that Sean said about the Phoenix Lights thing that there's no way they're flares because, he knows what flares looks like.
Right.
They don't last long and they fall. They
Yeah.
don't hover in the sky, which is very true. That's true about any kind of flare you use.
Yeah.
So.
There's even a Ric Flair.
It just falls. He doesn't hover in the air at
Yeah,
all.
just kind of falls flat on his face. So the next one, this is going out of the realm of paranormal, but it goes into the realm of mysterious. And some of the shows we have coming up on John and Stacy versus, everything versus evil versus the dead. On the John and Stacy versus show that we have on the Patreon, we have a show coming up on conspiracies. So this kind of gets into that, and I might have some special guests come on to talk about some conspiracies, especially this one. But in the JFK conspiracy, one thing that always bothered me, worse than other things, like really bothered me, because of the fact that if you were going to dress up and have, okay, let's have a normal looking lady, but we need to hide the appearance. Smithers, I need you to dress like a lady. Because that looks like a Monty Python. Does that not look like, one of the guys from Monty Python?
Yes.
Just dressed up as a woman, as a housewife, So this is the Babushka Lady. Babushka. The Babushka Lady is a woman that was present on November 22nd, 1963, when President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. In photos and film from that fateful day, the Babushka Lady can be seen with her own camera pointing directly at the action.
Yes.
Even when others take cover, she is still standing with her camera to her face. The Babushka Lady has never been identified, and she has never come forward with whatever she may have captured. Now, in a normal event, you might think that was possible, in something that was normal. If something, and not even normal, just something that was somewhat tragic, somewhat world-changing, but this is arguably one of the biggest things to ever happen on live television, or in the age of television, I should say. And, like anybody that was alive then, can tell you what they were doing that day. It's kind of like the 9/11 deal, right? If you were alive on 9/11, you know what you were doing, where you were at, everything. It's ingrained in your memories because it was so horrific, so tragic, so scary. You remember things like this, right?
Right.
And this is one of those deals for me. It's always has been. It's I think that this is weird. I think there's something more to that. I think she would have came forward and said, here's the pictures I took. They're not very good. They have a bit of gray matter on them. Or her family would have came and said, sorry, my babushka grandma, she had this. So I don't know. I mean, do you agree?
I do agree. And
somebody would have came forward, right?
Yeah. She's standing right there, and she's, pointing. It looks like she's pointing a camera right at the car.
It's almost like she can see the driver turning around and shooting.
Yeah. Almost.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
It would.
It would, yeah. That'd be something. All right. So I'll let you. This is one of Stacy's favorite stories. Oh. And we have a whole video coming. Just a spoiler alert. Can I tell them that?
I mean, I haven't made the video, but I was working on making one about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so because it's an interesting story. So this is the story about the SS Orang Medan.
Yeah.
You know, the ghost ship.
Ghost
as
ship.
they say. So in June of 1947, 2 American ships received an alarming distress code from the SS Orang Medan in Morse code. And it read SOS from Orang Medan. We float. That's all it said. And all of the officers, including the captain, dead in the chart room and on the bridge, probably whole of crew dead. So nobody had any idea what was going on.
So the actual full message was SOS from Orang Medan. We float. All officers, including the captain, dead in chart room and on the bridge. Probably whole of crew dead. So
that's very good.
It's just creepy.
It is creepy. And so there were a few more confusing dots and dashes and things. And the 2 last words that came across the message came through clearly. It said, I die. And so when the SS Orang Medan was eventually boarded, once they got there, every member of the crew was found dead. And they were all laying on their backs with their mouths wide open and their eyes staring straight ahead. They had no physical injuries, and there was no immediate apparent reason why they should be dead. So shortly after the discovery, a fire broke out on the ship, which made the rescuers leave. They got back onto their own ship and, got away from it because it was on fire, and it later sank. So they never could investigate what happened.
Yeah.
So this picture that I've got up here is a picture that's from the original story in 1948 from like a Dutch newspaper. That's where the story came out first.
Yeah.
So
just this whole story is so weird.
It is.
I mean, that's just weird, man. It kills me. Mm-hmm. It absolutely kills me. And I wish there was more to share as far as, I don't wish they had pictures of them looking forward. And
no. Now, I know that there were a couple of pictures in some newspapers that did have some pictures of a couple of the crewmen just kind of laying, but they could have been asleep. For all you knew. They were just laying there. And there was supposedly a survivor that brought the story to the newspaper, but nobody really knows who that is. And I think he disappeared shortly thereafter.
What's your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I think that the official explanation is that there was some kind of chemicals on board that mixed and it became toxic, and that's why everybody died. And that's what started the fire. Maybe it was like an insurance scam kind of thing where they sunk it on purpose.
Right.
But, all that stuff's just speculation. There never was an actual investigation, and this supposed eyewitness, can't be found anymore. So,
well, yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, it's still such a mystery, and it's very creepy.
Yeah. You can find stories, like if you look in old newspapers, every so many years, somebody, does a piece on it. So.
Yeah. So the next one, speaking of creepy and weird and all that good stuff, so this one's just creepy. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. This one it gets me. The Hinterkaifeck Massacre in March 1922. 6 people were murdered on a farm in Bavaria, Germany. The victims were a family, including a man, his wife, their widowed daughter, and her 2 young children. The 6th victim was a maid who started working for them the day of the massacre. Shortly before the massacre, strange things started happening. The family's maid quit, mentioning strange noises in the attic. House keys began disappearing. And days before his murder, the father told friends that he had seen footprints in the snow from the forest leading to a broken door lock, but no footprints leading away. Whoever killed the family seems to have lured them one by one into the barn through the stables, where he used a farm instrument to deal a fatal blow to their head. And after killing the husband, wife, their daughter, and her oldest child, the murderer entered the house and killed the younger child and the maid in their beds. In the days following the massacre, a few people visited the farmstead on business, but never saw the family, though there were reports of smoke coming from the chimney and sounds being heard inside all weekend. It appears the killer stayed for a few days before the bodies were discovered in the barn, but he didn't take any money, leaving the motive of the massacre shrouded in mystery to this day. And that is so crazy, man. Mm-hmm. The thing about it, right? Mm-hmm. You look at that and you have to wonder the big question. The big question for me, what do I do when there's a sound in the house?
Oh, yeah. You go check it out immediately.
Yeah, well armed, right?
Yes, exactly.
So if something outside, I go check it out.
Right.
If there's a hint of something happening anywhere around us, I'm checking it out. So what did brother do? He had there was footprints going in from the forest into a broken lock and not leading back out. And he goes and tells the neighbors, the craziest thing happened. There was footprints coming from the forest and going upstairs, and they've been hearing these weird sounds. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, so odd.
I mean, what? So, I don't know. It is creepy, though, and it's bizarre about the maid starting that day.
That is very strange.
I don't know if it's got anything to do with it,
I think that might just be a coincidence.
Yeah.
I mean, because she was killed too, so I don't see like a reason for it, I guess.
No, I see Dante in there though. I left out that mystery.
Oh yes,
because it's Stacy's favorite.
The Dyatlov Fest, because I talk about it so much that he didn't want to put it in the list because
sometimes
we've talked about
sometimes we just beat it to death, and that is a dead horse for us. But we will do a long form Dyatlov Fest because Stacy. I love it when they solve it. You can see my air quotes now. When they solve
they can't
it,
see you right the second.
Oh, well, I'm doing air quotes.
Okay.
So whenever they solve it, Stacy goes bananas.
Oh,
because it's just like, you never believe what they did.
It's kind of like them solving the Stonehenge thing.
Yeah, they do it once a year.
Yes.
Yeah, every year. I'll be like, hey, Stacy, they solved Stonehenge again this year. And it's like, they made it like 1842. Just figured we never noticed it before. And, it was a bunch of migratory African swallows that brought over the stones.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Had to be African swallows, right?
Yeah, it had to be African swallows. A regular swallow couldn't do that.
Do that.
Kidding? I don't know what kind of drugs you're on. All right, so number 3, keeping with Germany, Russia, since he talked about Dyatlov, go with a little something close to Dyatlov. Well, not really, but in the same vein, the Tunguska Event. All right, this one. The Tunguska Event was a massive explosion that took place on June 30th, 1908, near the Tunguska River in Russia. The explosion was so large it calculated to have been 1,000 times greater than that of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima, and it flattened almost 800 square miles of forest. Thankfully, due to remote area, no lives were lost. They say that, but look, if there was somebody out there, you're not going to know.
Yeah.
All right? I mean...
Yeah, because they're not there anymore.
No.
No trace of them.
No, that could have killed thousands of people. And you're just like, oh, crap, we lost some trees. Definitely lost some trees. Man, it's so crazy. So crazy. But the Tunguska... Easy for me to say, right? The Tunguska Event is usually explained away as an airburst of a meteoroid about 330 feet in size. It is classified as an impact event. No crap, right? Even though no impact crater has been found. The object is thought to have disintegrated 3 to 6 miles above the Earth rather than have hit the surface, which that's terrifying. If that didn't hit the surface,
right?
I don't know. I don't buy it exactly. I've seen other fringe theories of us even having some kind of old Earth, repelling
like
lasers,
defense system or something.
some old alien defense system.
Well, I know we did that story recently where someone came out and said that it was that the meteor came down and then like bounced back into space or something. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like it blew up and then just popped back into space.
That was a story. That was an official scientific story.
It was. And then I think there's
because we did a bloop, bloop.
Yeah, somebody else did had a theory that there's a lake nearby and that is actually the impact crater, and it's down in there somewhere. They just never found it.
It's down in a hole.
Yeah, something like that. So I don't know. They have no idea.
Little Alice in Chains.
They have no idea.
That one ring with you?
Yes, that one I do happen to remember.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So, and I mentioned Ancient Aliens, didn't I? So I don't make fun of Ancient Aliens like some people. because I watch it and it can be that way. I love it, and it might not be that I agree with everything, but I like watching all the different places because they actually show really cool places.
They do.
Where you're like, oh crap, I wanted to see something on that. And even though they throw aliens into everything,
right? We don't always believe everything they say, but we like looking at the cool stuff,
Yeah, I mean, you can't help it. But hey,
we like the narrator.
The Tunguska, it came down like a pinball and bounced into space.
That's got to be a talent, being able to say everything in the form of a question. I mean, that has to take practice.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm surprised you don't know how to do that.
I don't.
The Madonna with Saint Giovanni. So I didn't know the name of this painting.
Right.
So I'll just call it the Madonna and the Saint Pizza Joint. So yeah. So this is one of those that's always freaked me out because I've ever since the first time I saw this on any show, right? I went and found it and I'm like, hold on a second, I gotta zoom this in. This can't be. It has to be something else. They're representing something else. But what bothers me about it is the realism in the Madonna, right?
Right.
The realism in the human forms and the mountains and all that crap. And then why would you have something abstract like this is a giant fly? This is supposed to be a poot. I don't know. I don't. It's weird, man. It's just really weird, and it looks like a UFO to me.
So here, I'll zoom it in as you talk about it.
Yeah, well, it was painted in the 15th century, and the Madonna with Saint Giovanni has captured the attention of the UFO researchers because of the one small detail painted into the background. Above the Madonna's left shoulder appears to be the depiction of a UFO in the sky. To make things even stranger, there is a man and his dog on the cliffs below looking up at the object, which means the unidentified flying object is an intentional part of the painting. Or they just have random men with dogs pointing to skies.
I'm serious. Well, what I thought was
check it out, Sparky.
When I was looking at this painting, I don't know if it's just like a weird spot or something, but if you look over top of her head, it looks like there's a finger pointing at the UFO. And I was like, why is that weird hand in there pointing at the UFO? No, I think it might just be a dirt spot or something. I don't know. It's an old painting.
Dude, don't start paradelian me on this. It's strange though. Don't you think that's really, really weird?
I do. I think it's very strange.
It's just too weird for me. I can't think of anything else that would be. I mean, the guy's pointing at it like he might be. Oh shit, Rex!
Right, and it's not like we're in the age of airplanes or something. There should not be some kind of weird big thing flying in the sky.
Yeah, like flying rolls or something. It's just like some really mad chef. Oh, Babushka! So anyway. Number one on my curious list, and this one is cool because I don't care how many times I talk about it, and I don't care how many people try to disprove it or whatever. There's enough people out there that truly believe because we know what the Mac Daddy Mac of it is, and because one of our good friends got the complete collection of In Search Of, lucky bastard. I noticed he had the big DVD box. And
right?
Did you see that?
I haven't seen that yet. No.
Bill and Amy Lancaster of their native Bigfoot fame there of making some great documentaries you can watch on Amazon.
Yes.
Go to Amazon and watch. You can find the other one just by looking up native Bigfoot. That's my favorite. But anyway, he got the big box set in the mail today.
Wow.
Yeah, I know you could probably find that stuff online, but that was my first foray into all this because watching In Search Of, man, it just freaked me out. This one in particular, the Bigfoot episode, I remember watching that, man, because you see anything. To this day, you see something with, that level of detail, right?
Right.
And you see those big Sasquatch knockers just swinging back and forth. I mean, who's going to do that, right? You're going to make a fake Bigfoot, and you're like, give her some tribal knockers.
She doesn't wear a bra. They tend to sag.
Yeah, I just want it all natural, like. And the ladies will like her for that.
Right.
And give her some, like Siberian breeding hips. And, I mean, in fact, this could be like a member of my family, to be honest.
It could be.
This literally looks like the depiction of some of those pictures they show me. They're like, this is great-great-grandma Rubel, you know? And I'm just like, holy crap. Is that really hard? Because you'll see this little tiny man. It's always a little tiny man holding a gun, you know?
Right.
And it's just like, that's your great-great-grandpa. There's your great-great-grandmother. She looks like some big German bitch. I hate having children. God bless. I have 19. You know? And they're like, she wasn't very nice. Really? Was she not? They think she had some kind of arthritis. Did she? Of the face? I mean, it's like, it's pretty bad. But that's Bigfoot is actually one of my ancestors there.
Wow.
So, in 1967, for those of you who don't know, you're about to know, darlings, Robert Patterson and Robert Gimlin captured an incredible piece of footage that would take the world by storm. Taken in Northern California, the Patterson-Gimlin film shows what many believe to be Bigfoot. While in the film, in 954 frames in total, the most famous image is the name of a blog I used to write. It's frame 352, which shows the Bigfoot looking right at Patterson and Gimlin as it strolls past. If I could go rename the band I once had, it would not be Dead Level. It would be frame 352, just so people could be like, what's that?
What is that?
And I could be all cool and artsy about it. Look it up, kid. You know, that's the way it is. But that's my number one, because why shouldn't it be? And if Bigfoot was here, Bigfoot would crack your skull if you didn't think she was number one.
There you go.
So, and she don't like being called big. Thank you very much.
That's right.
She's got larger than normal foot. I can't help it foot. Something like that.
Big bone foot.
Big bone foot. That good stuff. So, I mean, you know, I like it because and we can do this list 1,000 times, and there's that many different things that tickle my fancy.
Right.
And well, let's see what's going on here in the chat. Let's see, what is the ancient Hindu from Nandi book with
Hindu book
UFOs
with
and nuclear? Oh, the Maharaja Raja. The
Rama.
The Rama Raj.
Yeah, we can't say it.
The Bahama Mama.
Yeah. Rama Dama thing.
The Rama Dama Bahama Mama is the book.
I'm a ding dong.
We actually own it. That's the scary part. Is we own it. I can go pull it off, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't say Bahama Mama on it.
No, I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
It's amazing though, because of when you look at that and you look at the history and you look at a lot of the stories from back then, right? You go back to these stories. I don't see a big
Right.
popular. They didn't write a fiction just for the fun of it.
Right.
And that's the thing of it. It's thank you, Michelle. She's right on it. We're gonna hire you, Michelle. You'll be our official Googler. All right, so you can get the right spelling in there, or whatever.
Right.
She's like, I have it tattooed on my hand. I don't know what you're talking about. You guys talked about it too much. That's why I'm here. So I did tell everybody we had our next door neighbor works for the CIA, didn't I?
You did,
Yeah.
yes.
I like saying it as much as possible. So if he is spying on me, that every time he's like, balls.
Oh, they got me. They got me.
He watches me as I go to work. He usually comes outside.
Does he mysteriously have to go to his car?
Today, when I went outside to go to work, okay, so I went like ass early.
Right.
And I go out, and today he's halfway in and out of his house, and he jumps back in. It's like either to avoid talking to the strange person, or because he's sexually aroused by me and he doesn't know what to do. It's just one-on-one, you know? I don't know what it is.
I mean, it could be any of those.
He's having an affair with you, and he's afraid I'll be able to psychically tell.
No, I'm pretty sure that's not it.
You're like, don't get around him in a small confined space.
Maybe he just feels awkward because the way these townhouses are made, the bedroom walls are, right next to each other. Like on the other side of our bedroom is their bedroom.
So
I'm sure they hear all kinds of interesting things coming through there.
That could be a problem. That could be an issue.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's move on then.
Okay, then.
I think, even without an intro, you know what I would like? I think it's about time for Stacey Edwards and some paranormal news. This is where I have to do like...
Yeah, this is where I would normally put the news intro, but I completely forgot to put the news intro in here, so...
Spanning the globe, blah, blah, blah,
we're
blah,
not
blah, blah, blah.
going to have a news intro. That was it. That was my news.
Oh, wait, Abby, wait. The Bhagavad Gita. I'm William Shatner.
Apparently.
Bhagavad Gita. Spock. Yes, hashtag Mommy Daddy Tom. That's exactly what he heard. You win the prize, Sean.
Somebody has actually used that hashtag besides you.
No, there's been a lot of people use that hashtag. I'll have you know. Because it is a harsh hashtag and needed. So, all right.
All right. Are we ready for some news?
We are.
Let's get into some news.
I get to relax a little bit and just take it in.
No, you don't. You got to look at some pictures and things.
I'm looking.
All right. So this first story is one that has been going around all of the major news sites, and it's about this supposed spirit of a little girl seen in a cemetery. So this is from Las Cruces, New Mexico. I'm going to go ahead and put this picture up here because it is unbelievable. So this little girl, her name was Fabiola Rodriguez. She was 2 years old when she died in September of 2018. And her mother has had problems with people stealing things from her grave at the cemetery, like toys and personal belongings have gone missing. So Sandra asked the cemetery to kind of be on the lookout. But nearby to her grave that you see there in the picture, another family has a camera on their headstone because their son, who also died tragically, he was murdered. Their killer was still free and allegedly was vandalizing his grave. And so they set up a camera to hopefully catch whoever the vandal was. So one day they were reviewing their footage, looking for some evidence that they could take to the police. And they saw this little child, and this is a picture of the video. They saw this little child walking through the cemetery. Well, at first, they were mortified because they thought that there was a child alone wandering in the cemetery at night. So they immediately went to the the cemetery people, and they were like, look, we saw this on our video. There's this child that was in the cemetery. And the worker at the cemetery said, no, I know that little girl, and walked the family to her grave because, I mean, it looks very much like that little girl.
The worker at the cemetery said that?
That's what the worker at the cemetery said. She's like, I don't know if it's a man or woman, but the worker was like, I know who that little girl is. And so the next day, the family returned to the cemetery, and the little girl's mother and her grandmother just happened to be there. And so they said, look, we have something that we really want to show you. And so they showed her the piece of footage that they caught, and her mother immediately burst into tears, and they said, I know that that's my daughter. And it was just amazing. And so they had these other these other images of this same girl. Let me see if I can pull another one of these up. So this is another picture from the video where you can see she's just walking through the cemetery, and that's why they were concerned. It does look like a child is walking through the cemetery.
Holy cow.
So here's the last video, and this one's really hard to see, but I wanted to include it on here anyway. So this was a last part of the video where she is walking away, and you can see her image. It is right beside this circle, but this big circle is supposedly a taller figure, and they're claiming that she showed up to take the other family's son to heaven.
Oh my God.
And that's what this last picture is, that it's her leading him away because, they both had these tragic stories and they were both young. And isn't that amazing? And that's why it went viral immediately.
So she took the little girl took the boy.
Supposedly the little girl was leading him away from the graves.
But then she came back and stuff?
No, this is at the end of the video. This is there was a whole video, and she was there, and then at the end of the video they were walking away.
Dude, I'm going to cry.
Isn't that amazing?
I'm just thinking of, you instantly go to Ariana when she was 2, right?
Right,
I mean,
right.
you instantly think about that kind of cutie that was just, always putting on a show and just, the apple of your eye.
Right.
And that's just sweet because, a 2-year-old daughter is maybe the sweetest thing in the world. But that just breaks my heart.
This is, I guess, they didn't really say it that way, but I assume this is her at the boy's grave. Like she walked up to the boy's grave.
I mean, that is solid.
Because that's what the camera's at.
What is so amazing about this is there's not going to be a toddler that you can like talk into faking this, like I mean, I've had enough kids. They're not gonna do what you tell them to do.
No, exactly.
I mean, not in a graveyard in the pitch dark. And be okay with it. Like, hey, go over to that grave, little Susie, and grab that,
Yeah.
Like,
Makes me wonder about the stuff that goes missing on her own grave.
Oh, yeah. She might be playing with it.
If she's the one coming and, moving it or taking it or whatever.
Makes me think about the toys that go missing on my friend's grave that I put there.
Right.
Maybe he's taking the Ric Flair down into wherever.
He would, too.
He would, yeah. If he could find a way.
If he could do it, he would do it.
Yeah, I agree, Sean. It looks like she's calling him. Like if that was the little boy's grave, it looks like she's like, hey, come out,
Yes. Now, see, I'm just assuming that because their camera was supposedly on his grave to catch vandalism, so I am assuming that's what's happening in this picture. That's not it didn't spell that out in the article.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to spell it out.
Right.
If that was there, why would the parents put it on the little girl's grave?
Right, exactly.
Randomly,
Exactly. So that's why I am assuming it does look like, I'd never really thought about that, but it does look like she's sort of bending down and,
No, that's a great call.
Him.
It's a great call out because I agree. That looks like, the way you would sweetly do that with another child, and kids are like that with each other. Kids trust other kids.
They do.
Immensely. And we see that with, Kyler and Wavy Girl. They just absolutely, Waverly is just, she is so trusting of her big brother, Kyler. And, she just instantly will stop everything she's doing at 8 months old and stare at him, smile ear to ear, and it's just like, it's amazing because they just know, that they can trust, this other kid. So I don't know, man. That's one of the better stories that I've seen in a while, and I wasn't expecting it, and that creeped me out.
It just gives you the willies.
Well, okay, folks, have a good night.
I'm done now.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go on to the next story. And this is a story from the International Space Station about
I suppose this one's like not holy shit. Yeah.
Now, so this is a video that was loaded to Twitter by a Russian cosmonaut, and I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna make this full screen so that you guys can see it better. And so supposedly between 9 and 12 seconds, something shows up on his video that he is taking from the International Space Station. So I'm going to play this. All right.
Not what I thought it was.
There it is. Did you see it?
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm not going to play the whole thing because
snap crapples.
What he's doing is he's videoing the Aurora Borealis. And so it's a longer video, but
maybe they're finding another city in the Aurora.
So this is the video that he caught, and he thought it was very strange, and so he uploaded this to Twitter. See, there it goes right there.
I've totally seen other ones like that.
Right. So he put, and you can see it here, it says, the peak of the Aurora Borealis when passing over the Antarctic in Australia's longitude, meaning in between them. However, in the video, you will see something else, not only the Aurora. Now, I didn't play the Auroras at the end, but it's very strange because at 9 to 12 seconds, you can see these lights. Now, the speculation is
looks like anal beads.
That, and I think what some people said was that it's possibly Starlink satellites. And because the ISS is moving and they're moving, then it looked like they were going across the
Do you know what else it looked
video.
like?
What's that?
You know when Elon shoots up that thing, and people think it's UFO?
The Starlink. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what people said it was. That it could possibly just be the light hitting these Starlink satellites for a minute, and you just happen to catch them in your view. But it's interesting that he uploaded it anyway. That it was something he was taking on his own, and he put it on Twitter.
No, it's cool. I mean, the Russians, they don't care. They're just like, I'll be killed anyway soon.
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. And another thing that's interesting about this is another story that came out right after this.
This has to be one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, where
like, what's that weird sound?
Where they're investigating a small air leak on the International Space Station. Isn't the timing convenient? Russian Cosmo uploads odd video of possible UFO.
I tell you, comrade.
Oh, whoops.
What can they possibly do to us up here, huh?
There's an air
They can do
leak.
nothing. How you take that, Vladimir? You take that, huh? So
Right.
we tell the people about the aliens we see mooning us each day. So tired of this. So tired, comrade.
Right.
Wait a second. What's that noise? Yes. Dimitri. You ate the beans an hour ago. It's not me, comrade. I don't know.
Well, supposedly, according to the article, NASA claims that the leak was detected back in 2019, and they just haven't had a chance to fix it because it's been so busy up there, and it wasn't a major problem at the time. And now that everything's kind of calmed down and it's sort of quiet in the operations, that they could have, there's 3 astronauts up there right now, they could have them all stay in a certain service module, close off the rest of the space station, and the people on the ground can run tests to find out exactly where the leak is and repressurize everything and fix it. Supposedly this is something that happens. It's not unusual, and it's not even the biggest leak they've ever had, according to what NASA's been saying.
Yeah, that's what that girl told me in college.
So the Russian cosmonauts and the one, I think there's an American astronaut up there, will be in this particular area this weekend from the 21st to the 24th. And they'll have to stay in there until the leak is fixed. So I don't know. Very interesting.
If it wasn't a particularly large leak, could they not just put some trident in the hole? I mean,
well, I think they're not exactly sure where it is. That's why they have to pressurize and repressurize things and see if they can figure out where the leak is happening.
Could, pee in the air and just watch where it goes. I don't know. Just something.
They do claim, NASA does claim, that the 3 astronauts will have, quote, plenty of room. I don't know why that's a concern. They're in the International Space Station, so.
Social distancing in space.
I guess.
What are you talking about? I mean, can you imagine getting the Rona on the space station?
No, that would be awful.
Yeah. I mean, there's just no getting away from it.
So, I don't know. Interesting story. I just, like I said,
I think the timing.
I think the timing is very coincidental.
Yeah.
They'd be like, I won't be sharing any more videos of UFOs from the ISS anymore.
They're like, well, it's time for Olaf to go bye-bye. Let's stick the hole in. So,
all right, so let's move on to the next story, and this one is about massive lava tubes on Mars and the moon could be home to life. And when they say home to life, they don't mean alien life. They mean we can live in them, possibly.
In the lava tubes.
In the lava tubes, yes. So supposedly there is this new study where they've calculated the size of these lava tubes that are supposedly on the moon and on Mars. And now there was an article last year.
Well, I'm not gonna trust that one. I'm gonna rent one, go up there, be all ready for it, and just be like.
There was this article about a year ago, in 2019, about July 2019, where they had just detected the skylights, just the openings for these, quote, lava tubes, and they've been studying them this whole past year. Mm-hmm. And so now they've decided that they would be much larger than the ones on Earth, and they've sort of been studying the ones on Earth to kind of tell what those are going to be like.
Right.
But these would be much larger.
I'm sorry, but F
they
them.
Would be able.
Look, dude, they don't know. Okay, if I don't care, they're ancient lava tubes. They're definitely no lava anymore. As soon as you're in that thing,
right,
you know what's going to happen.
Well, supposedly, they'd be big enough to put whole places in there, and it's all the things they talk about living underneath the ground. The temperature wouldn't vary. They'd be able to maintain the pressure in there and the oxygen.
Like 100,000 years ago, the reptilians on Mars were seeing videos of Earth like this, and they were like, we can go live underground.
Right.
And those monkeys up top are never going to get any smarter. And then they go burrow underground, and all of a sudden the damn grays came. And they're like, well, it just seems like it's the monkeys there. What do you want us to do? Let's make some of them smart and leave the other ones monkeys. That'll confuse them.
Well, they claim that they're likely up to 100 feet wide and upwards of 25 miles long, and that they could potentially shield you from cosmic radiation as well. So I think this is the way they're going for, establishing bases on the moon and Mars and things like that. They have basically come out and said that it is possible to live inside a planet.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, here's the thing about it. Mm-hmm. I wish that they would address certain things, just things that they shy away from. Mm-hmm. And that when the scientists get in there, like your first day of working on the Martian project, when you're at NASA,
right.
you know, when you get that full access, you've got the high clearance, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know as well as I do what you're looking at.
Right.
You're like, so I can see anything? Yes, Smithers, you can see whatever you want. So anything, I mean, from throughout time, anything.
Right.
Absolutely. Oh, what are you talking about? You want to see some ancient lava tubes? No. Do you want to see where we think there might have been saltwater crustaceans? No. Do you have the face of Mars? You know, the one you guys came out and showed us that was totally not a face a couple of years, like 30 years later. That one. I'd like to see that in real time. Mm-hmm. Oh, we don't have that. You can show me inside a lava tube, but you can't show me a 360 of that place. What about the, that pyramid? Possibly. Can I see that? How about the pyramid on the moon? The one from,
right.
40 years ago. The one that was supposedly was, just a throwaway picture, and then somebody took it and brightened it up, and an official NASA photos, there's actually a freaking pyramid. How about that one? I don't know. Just some of those things. I just wish people would just come out and go, here's what it is.
I mean, yeah.
Even the fact that it's a pyramid, I hope that when they do the alien invasion, when it happens, they finally come off all that stuff.
I hope so. They'll just start saying, well, we may as well tell you everything.
Yeah, well, the Egyptians were actually it wasn't the Egyptians. It was the people. Man, did you ever realize how mad the Egyptians would get when you said that?
No.
Elon made that joke.
I know. They get really upset.
And they got really mad. Mm-hmm. You get mad at the Elon, then you can get mad at anybody. They'll come kill me.
Yeah.
I need to stop saying the truth.
That'll never happen.
That they wandered up and just took over this really great pyramid and then really crappily tried to recreate it 10,000 times. So what's next?
All right, so let's move on to this next story. And if I can pull it up here.
Oh, this is where I have to sing and dance.
Yes, this is where you have to sing and dance.
She's not having technical problems or anything. It's just a normal day at the office. Nothing wrong here. Nothing to see. So, I think so far you hit a home run with that first one, though.
You liked it, huh?
I did. I liked it from my dislike of it. If that makes any kind of sense.
All right, so we're going to do this next story. This is about another ghostly figure caught on camera.
That's what happened.
Believe it or not.
So this is the ghost interfering.
Yes. So this is a website. You can
Bullshit.
See it says limitless security, and supposedly.
See, that's something normally cut out of the version on the podcast.
A security
it's
camera.
My BS.
A security camera that was stationed at a construction site in England supposedly captured an eerie image of what appears to be a ghost woman. And this was at 2 a.m. in the morning. Now, I've got a larger shot of that picture, and I will put that up for you. Oh, what happened? I'm sorry. I've lost my mouse for some reason. So let's see here. Let me get that bigger picture. So supposedly they caught it. It caused an incident report, and they
just use your.
The problem is I can't see my mouse for some reason. There's no mouse pointer.
Yeah, every now and then it makes the picture lighter though.
Mm-hmm, it does, but I don't know how to find it.
Yeah.
So
we will do it live. Maybe I can just start cussing at this point and you can edit it out later.
Right.
We'll just go on the all the words you're not supposed to say, right? So this is supposed to be legitimate security footage.
Yes, it's supposed to be legitimate security footage of this ghost lady that they have no idea who this is. They sent people over there and nobody could find anyone. So they don't know what it is or what happened. They didn't sleep for the rest of the night because they were so creeped out about this woman being over there. They don't know what it is. And it looks like she is see-through. You can kind of tell that she's see-through.
Yeah. No, so. It's crazy. It is crazy. I was trying to work with this thing too.
Yeah.
Here.
I'm sorry. They're seeing that.
Oh, no, it's fine. I'm just messing with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why all of a sudden my mouse is gone. I can't see what I'm pointing at, so that's the problem. But We'll work through it. All right. So, interesting story. I don't have any idea on that, why it looks like a ghost, who it could be, why some woman would randomly be walking through a construction site at 2 a.m.
Well, no, I mean, now that you're telling me it's from a construction site,
yeah,
and they're putting that up like that, I don't see how that increases their business any.
This is from the security company that monitors their CCTV system.
That really makes no sense then.
Yeah, and they actually have on the article, they show the incident report where it popped up on their systems, and they've got this picture here, and they just put it up, and they were like, "Isn't this crazy?"
No, it is. It is absolutely nuts. That's be like ADT giving you a call and being like, "Hey, we caught a spirit last night at your construction site." That just makes no sense.
Right.
I don't know, man. I agree with you on that one. That one is cooler than what I thought at first, because it looks like an app or something. It looks like create your construction ghost girl app. That's one of those things. All right, so we'll give it here like 10 seconds, and you able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I can, when I figure out how to find my thing.
Right.
I don't know. I am just not sure what happened.
There it was. Wait. Oh, see, it's over. That's that thing. All right. So
yeah.
Here, you.
I agree with you, Michelle. They're saying that their equipment's so good that they can. I
mean, it could very well be that. So. I'm trying to just you can do your song and dance right now. talk about the in the middle of the news. We're going to talk about the cons real quick while I'm doing this.
Oh, okay. So yes, if you missed it at the beginning, we're going to have CyberCon on August 29th, Scarefest CyberCon, and that will be at scarefest.artfarm.tv. And you can get your tickets, and we will be doing a talk at 5 p.m. And the whole con is from 12 to 8. So that'll be something. We have links all over our website for it. And we're also going to be at the Great Smoky Mountain Comic Expo in October 4th and 5th in Newport, Tennessee. And
No, I'm not hitting nothing.
Okay.
That's so weird.
I'm going to just unplug this and plug it back in and see if that helps.
All right.
Oh, did you hear a little dingy noise? And it's something going on. I don't know why it's not. It's because I have all this stuff open, I'm sure, and I'm not sure why it's not showing. But
all right,
we will figure it out. I will get it on this button, and this is why I need to set up hotkeys so I can work it without, needing the mouse. Well, we can go on to the next story anyway. Maybe we just can't see it, but we'll go on to the next story.
Can you pull us back up?
Possibly, yes. Possibly I can. Technical difficulties. Yes, I can. It's this. There we go.
All right.
Oh, there's
there
us.
There we are.
I have no idea why.
So we'll just do this for right now.
All right.
Maybe we can. It's shadow puppet time. So
all right. So let's go on to this next story. It's about a Jurassic Park experiment. Stop that. 750 million genetically engineered mosquitoes are going to be released in Florida. Genetically engineered mosquitoes.
Wow.
Yes.
Why?
So the U.S. authorities have approved a plan to release more than 750 million mosquitoes across the Florida Keys, even though the locals object vehemently.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
It's to control the spread of diseases such as Zika and some yellow fever and a couple other ones that I can't pronounce because they've got really weird names.
So these mosquitoes kill the regular mosquitoes?
Supposedly they're male mosquitoes, and they've been created to produce female offspring that die at the larval stage, because the females are the ones that spread the disease. They're the ones that bite. It's like the blood. And
what? I'm just saying that just makes sense. Because the females are so powerful.
Now, supposedly they've done this before in like Brazil or something, and it did work. And so they wanted to do it in Florida, and I think eventually they're going to do it in Texas. But people claim that it's, a very Jurassic Park experiment, and they're not really happy about it.
The ones in Texas will have little hats on, and it'd be awesome. They make them cool,
Yes.
Nah, I bet Kentucky's already done it.
Probably.
They're going to say they have.
Absolutely.
We did that last year. It didn't work. But, yeah, I mean, it's never good, right?
No.
Genetically
never
engineering
good.
anything that is going to come out and could possibly bite you,
right,
is not good, because it's just going to turn on you eventually.
I agree.
In my opinion.
All right, so let's move on to this next story, and I wanted to show you the pictures of this, but of course I'm having technical difficulties with my mouse, so I don't think I'm going to be able to. But it's a house for sale.
Well, if you want to, what we could do, since this is, totally we're in control here, we could end it and start it right back or something. Whatever you think is going to work. I'm sure or something. I'm sure that no one would mind in order to get this up, and then it won't happen next time.
Right. Oh, wait.
There it is.
I see it. There it is.
See,
I'm not sure why it's there now.
I'll tell you why. Because it was just a damn suggestion that I was going to bust its ass and stop the stream.
That's what it was. You have shown it. Who's boss? All right. So since we do have it back up now, I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you this picture really quickly.
Cool.
There you go. Ghost lady. Big ghost lady picture. There you are. And we also had the story about the mosquitoes.
Yes.
That is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
That's stupid is what it is. Absolutely stupid. What are people? I mean, do they not have time for anything else? Is it just like, I mean, are they just like, well, why don't we just make some mosquitoes? I mean, I don't know.
All right, so let's talk about this house for sale, okay? So isn't this beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? So this is a house for sale in Fayette, Missouri. And I'm just going to start clicking through these pictures because notice there are 70 pictures. So it's 2,465 square feet. And it's 2 bedrooms and 1.5 baths.
Oh, I'm ready.
Very high end. It's 3 stories. Isn't
exactly
it gorgeous?
What we love.
Yeah, I'm sort of like clicking through kind of quickly because I want to get to the best part. Look at that kitchen. Isn't that gorgeous?
That's the best part.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And
is it gas?
Probably.
Oh,
yes,
it is. It's
look,
gas. Oh,
look,
my
and
God.
Look at the double ovens. Isn't it great? It's had a lot of renovations.
We could cook in there.
It's like $350,000.
I'm ready.
Right? And the rooms are beautiful. Look at those floors. I mean, look at this bathroom. Okay.
Jeez.
So notice though, in the kitchen, I'm going to get to this kitchen picture.
I'm not a big fan of the see-through stuff in the bathroom.
So do you see
Whenever
this?
we're staying somewhere like that, honestly.
This goes off the kitchen. Do you know what this is?
The death room?
This is a jail. Look, a 9-cell jail attached to the house. 2,500 square feet of jail with cells, a booking room, and a half bath attached. It is a legitimate jail, they say. Thank goodness it's legitimate.
Okay, was this a functional jail at one time?
It was. This particular property is from 1875, and it was the Howard County Sheriff's House and Jail.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. That looks a lot nicer than 1875 jail.
I do believe it's probably been worked on some. I'm not sure, but oh my gosh, I want this house.
Yeah, you and Ivy are both strange. I see the...
There, look, Ivy. Yes, Ivy, I need it.
Yeah, it's... I mean, there's no reason to have a jail on your house. I mean, it's no, you don't need to make it a B&B, Michelle. You see, it's all the ladies. If you notice a thing here. Okay, look, you've went through jails with me.
Right.
Okay,
right.
You know what they always are?
What's that?
Severely haunted. They're not haunted by,
Look how big these cells are, though. They're very roomy for a jail.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is a serial killer's lair. Now, there you're talking.
Well,
I mean, if we're putting our victims in there, that's different.
It's funny because I found this story because people online were very concerned about the listing because...
I'm disowning you, Sean.
Now, people... in the listing doesn't say to do anything horrific, but people on Twitter were suggesting things to do with the jail, mother-in-law quarters, perhaps.
Is it really just $400,000?
Yeah, $350,000, yeah.
Where is it? Is it like in Guam? Where is it?
It's in Missouri.
Oh, well.
And it's a historical property.
I mean, depending on what part of Missouri.
Look at it. Look how pretty it is.
Yeah. What city in Missouri is that?
Fayette. See? 2010 Notable Historical Property, Fayette Historic Preservation Commission. And the listing, now I tried to go to the broker that had it listed, and the listing was not there. This is just this is on like realtor.com.
Can you imagine being the kid in school? They're talking about the kids. Can you imagine being the kid in school that has the jail in the house? I mean,
that would be awesome. I'd have all the Halloween parties at my house. And then you dare each other to, get locked up in the jail. I really think that it works too. Like I think you can lock people up and book them in. Look at the bars on the windows.
And book them in. I don't know if you can book them in, Stacy, legally.
No, I know.
I own the jail, so I'm the sheriff.
I hope that whoever buys this house, I hope they are thoroughly background checked.
Yes.
Thoroughly.
Yes. Many perverts do want that.
And maybe
including me.
Random, pop-in checks for who's in the jail.
I mean, I don't know, man.
I know. Isn't it crazy?
It's crazy because it's so much like the recurring dream I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because look at the courtyard.
Yeah.
Yes.
It could possibly be the closest thing I've seen to the recurring dream I've had for like 20 years. I have this house that I dream about, and it's humongous like this. Mm-hmm. It's really, really nice, but there's parts of it that don't belong. Like you go through one door and it'll take you into something, like the way that looked where you go into the prison. It doesn't have a prison to it the one in my dream.
Right.
But it has these different parts that are just not right. And what I feel is that it's parts of my, subconscious that I don't know, that is locked up and, stuff like that. I think that it's personally like, my mind palace. It's pull a Sherlock thing.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, there's rooms, it's like, there's always the voice with me, like, don't go in that room. No matter what, don't go in that room. There's this one room where I'm never supposed to go into. And it's always like very alluring to me, like Jennifer Love hottie, like, hey, come on, that kind of stuff. So
right.
Anyway.
Oh, all right. So we have one more story.
Oh.
One more very interesting story.
Oh, hey, Chad.
This one is about
Chad joined us late.
Oh, that's okay. He can go back and catch up.
Mustard.
So this one's about Drew Barrymore. So Drew Barrymore was doing an interview recently, and she has confirmed a rumor that her grandfather's corpse was stolen for a final party. Does that sound familiar?
It does.
So while making a virtual appearance on a YouTube series called Hot Ones, she set the record straight about a long-standing rumor. They asked her, they said, is it true that your grandfather's body was stolen from the morgue by W.C. Fields, Errol Flynn, and Sadakichi Hartman so that they could prop him up against a poker table and throw one last party with him? And she said yes. And not only yes, but they've made movies about it. Now, I know you're thinking Weekend at Bernie's, because that's what I thought, but that it's just a rumor that's what that is based on. There's actually another film called S.O.B. It's a Blake Edwards film. She says it's really great. It's fun to watch. And that one is inspired by this story of him being taken from his grave and propped up for a party. And she said that she hopes her friends do the same for her.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking up because the guy, he had a very interesting life anyway. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And her whole family has really. Yeah. I mean, they've had some really strange stuff. That's why she's so, I don't know, ditzy. I don't know. She's really sweet, She is. But there's this thing about her that's kind of fraud. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I mean, she's been acting since she was a child.
Yeah, but I mean a little bit more than that. Like a little bit.
Perhaps.
Hollywood cultish kind of thing.
Her grandfather was very good looking for his time. Look at that.
Yeah, he was very debonair.
Yes.
Debonair. He looks like the guy on, that remake where they see the man in the house. Mm-hmm. Anyway. I don't remember what it was. That's some cool stories, though. Thank you for that.
Yes, you're welcome.
And nothing, Chad, you got to go back to the first story she did. Mm-hmm, holy cat.
About the little girl.
Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. I am telling you. I'm looking dead in the camera right now. All right? That story is all that and a bag of chips. Because it's really cool, and it's sad, and it's sweet all at the same time. But... speaking of sad and sweet all at the same time, it's coming to that time now, and we've had fun.
We have.
It's been one of the funnest that hour and 22 minutes went quick.
It really did. It really did. But I liked doing it live. That was fun.
That was fun. So what do you think, guys? You think we should do this again? You think we should bring even longer versions and like the full 2-hour Monty in here and more lists, more news? So yes, she is married to Tom Green, and that is enough said. You're right. But Tom Green did cause me to check my scrotum for bad stuff. So
did he?
Yeah, he came out. He had nut cancer, and he was just like,
well, I mean,
he's like, while you're down there,
as long as he inspired you for something, I suppose.
I've checked him regularly ever since. So yeah. Well, anyway, let us know what you thought. Let us know what we could do better. Let us know what we could do, worse, and we will.
That's right.
We'll do both.
That's right.
So. Anyway, we've had a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. We had a blast. Be sure to keep an eye out because we are going to do this again. And I can't wait to, till the word gets out to everybody. When this goes out and people get it downloaded to their podcast tomorrow. Right. And they're like, hey, wait a second. Why is he talking to Michelle? They're going to figure out what we were doing. And I do like it on YouTube a lot better. Than on Facebook.
I think it went pretty smoothly, except for the little mouse mishap. I think it went pretty smoothly.
Yeah, and that was totally the ghost that did it. I'm sure. Anyway, for my lovely wife Stacy, my name's John. So long from the Sideshow.
Good night.